Texting while driving is an all too common epidemic. About 21 states have officially banned driving with cell phones, and more are in the process of making it illegal. But the problem is, everyone still does it. Officer James Panic of the Los Angeles Police Department Valley Traffic Division says he still sees it in his district all the time.
In a half hour, I wrote 10 citations, and I noticed that about 1 out of every 10 drivers was still using a telephone without a wireless device. And that was just a real brief half-hour thing down there. So I can imagine if I stayed there all day, I'd probably have a whole ticket book full of stuff.
A survey from the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety says the problem is from younger drivers. They found that drivers younger than 30 spend about 16% of driving time on the phone. They also found that almost half of 18 to 24-year-olds still say they text while they drive, even in the states that ban it. Many students at California State University Northridge acknowledge that it's dangerous, but they still text out of convenience.
I believe it's very dangerous and people shouldn't be doing it, but I know that everyone, including myself, does it.
I have to admit that I do it sometimes in case of emergency, but I would say that it's not so safe.
Well, I do at every red light, which I know isn't an excuse, but I don't know. It's just heat of the moment.
It is dangerous. I probably shouldn't text while driving. Well, I mean, it's very dangerous, so I think there should be a law in effect, but kind of hypocritical when it comes to that.
But the effects can be deadly. University of Utah researcher Dr. David Strayer has been studying distracted driving for the past 10 years with a driving simulator, and he found that the crash risk is high.
First thing happens when you're text messaging is you take your eyes off the road. And usually you're not holding the steering wheel with both hands. And then you have the cognitive distractions. And so the combination of not looking and being distracted mentally and not having your hands on the wheel contributes to crash risk and makes you about 8 times more likely to be involved in a crash.
The California legislature enacted the hands-free cell phone law in July 2008, but a survey from the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety found that only 22% of drivers in states that ban texting feel that the law is strongly enforced. California lawmakers are trying to create a new law where the fine would be increased from $20 to $100 for the first offense, would charge more for repeat offenders, and would add a point to a driver's license. Officer Panic says the main problem is students don't see it as a big deal.
No, when the first law came out, obviously people were not aware that the law had passed, so there were a lot of people using the cell phone still. The problem we see now is I think that people don't think it carries a big enough fine, so they don't want to spend the $50 on a Bluetooth device or a wireless device.
But some students have learned from the law and do think that it is effective. Glendale Community College student Heather Richardson said her ticket taught her to be more cautious.
I understand that it could be really dangerous, and I'm glad that I got caught because, I've seen a lot of reports how people get into accidents and, they could be really deadly accidents.
Many experts say the key to fixing the problem is promoting awareness. Debbie Rowley of Safeway Driving School in Simi Valley says making sure students don't use cell phones is a top priority.
We want to teach, as I say, start to finish, the whole time they're practicing to get their license, why it's not a good thing to have any type of distractions, especially cell phones, in the car with them.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has launched a new campaign to stop distracted driving. It helped create Focus Driven, a new nonprofit organization devoted to stopping any form of distracted driving through education and lobbying different states. President and founding board member Jennifer Smith says each Focus Driven member came together because each of them have lost a loved one, including herself.
In September of 2008, my mother was driving and got hit by a 20-year-old who was talking on a cell phone and ran a red light.
She hopes that by spreading awareness, the group can stop the problem before more are killed.
People are texting all the time, and they're so addicted to it, they're not thinking that what they're putting at risk, that there's lives on the road their life or if they were to take someone else's life. They have to live with that.
Brittany Silverstein, KCSN News.